Welcome back to The Sims 3 A to Z. Today's video will cover the Bottomless Nectar Cellar lifetime wish, which is described as follows. High quality nectar comes with a heavy price tag, but Sims of discerning taste know that it is worth the cost. Nectar-obsessed Sims seek to stock a cellar full of nectar racks with the finest, tastiest juices infused with the sweetest fruits, and be known by friends as a true connoisseur of fine nectar. Possess 50 bottles of nectar in your nectar cellar and have that collection be worth 10,000 simoleons. A more unique lifetime wish if I've ever seen one. Let's get into it. So, full disclosure, I could have finished this wish in maybe 10 minutes. I didn't because I thought that would be lame. Instead, you're going to see a montage of my awesome trip to France, and then you'll see me finish the wish. If you don't want the filler, you can probably skip like 2 minutes before the video ends, and you'll see all I did. But hang on for a little bit, because we have to prep a little. The first thing I do after I come into the game is make a basement. You have to have a basement to complete this challenge, so I make a basement. I decided to make it 10 by 10, just so I have room for things should I need to have anything else indoors. I place a ladder down to said basement, and now we have access. Next, I purchase 4 nectar racks. I choose the highest quality ones because they'll help age our nectar and make it more valuable should we want to sell them down the line. Then I stock the racks with the nectar we already have, which happened to be 4 bottles we picked up on some adventure some weeks ago. My sim complains about the state of the basement while she's down there, so I add a light and plop down some floor and wallpaper. Now our cellar is ready. Right now, we're sitting at about 150 simoleons over 4 bottles. Not a great start. And while technically we wouldn't even have to go to France to complete this wish, that's only enabled through the grace of the consignment store, which does not stay open for 24 hours like the alchemy store. And I don't want to wait for it to open, so off to France we go. With the lifetime wishes I purchased, at a level 0 visa, we're able to visit for 6 days for 1,650 simoleons. A pretty good deal. And then it's just a matter of waiting through the loading screen to get to France. We're met with the beautiful flyover through untextured buildings. The first thing I do is grab an adventure, and then run over to the bookstore to buy skill books pertaining to nectar making. While I'm not anticipating having to actually make nectar, I want to grab these just in case. After that, I head up to General Store Merchant for my adventure, who tells me to take my butt over to the Celtic ruins past the Nectary. Past a Nectary, you say? Why, don't mind if I do. You see, here's the caveat of this wish. Despite being about nectar making, and the devs probably intended you to make all of your own nectar, you can just find or buy all the nectar you need and stuff them in your cellar, and it'll count, no questions asked. So, the easiest way to go about this, should you have over 10,000 simoleons to burn, and oh boy, we've got that kind of money to burn, you can simply purchase all the bottles you need and be done with it. So, that's what I do. I buy in total 14 of the Nectary's most expensive nectar, and a nectar making machine just in case, fulfilling the 10,000 simoleon requirement just like that. And then I run off to the Celtic ruins and immediately begin to grave rob. First by excavating the surface, followed by delving into the tomb. The tomb had its usual fare of breaking down stone and corpses and statue moving, and its centerpiece was this hedge maze, which our sim path finds to all the different objects scattered about. I pick up everything I can, grab the mysterious object, being one lost baseball, and with one last switch, I mosey on out. I swing by the Nectary again to grab 16 of their cheapest nectar. I did the math, and this would round out the 50 bottles required between my current stock. I did consider for a second to just go home after this, but I didn't want to waste my vacation time, so I pressed on. And I turned in the adventure and hit a level 1 visa. Our next adventure has us heading over to the relic seller, who is also the museum's curator, which seems kind of dubious. And he wants us to investigate some strange sounds coming from the galleries. I wander over to the Egyptian gallery, and I don't see anything out of the ordinary. I thought that donating my junk might get something to trigger, but this wasn't the case. It wasn't until I just wandered over to the other side of the building that I got the quest to complete. We run back to our client to inform him that we didn't find anything. He tells us to go back and go search the Chinese gallery. So I head over and walk around the second floor of the Chinese gallery, but nothing changes. It's when I walk down to the first floor that I notice a hole in the wall. So I press it, and instead of investigating immediately, like a normal person, we go back to the client to tell him we found a scary button. He thanks us and tells us to get investigating. This leads into a tomb, and it's likely the most involved I've seen yet. Investigating this little hidden doorway did not progress me forward, and I'm stumped a little bit between where the arrows are pointing and the lack of anything triggered by moving the statues. It's not until I hover over the torch in the center, something that was entirely unencountered by me until now, that can be pulled to reveal pressure plates for the statues to stand on. I move the statues and I progress forward. Moving this statue revealed an otherwise completely hidden hole beneath it. Interacting with it caused another pressure plate to appear, and then I was out of this room, and led me into the basement gallery proper, which I thought was a fun touch. I wandered into this hallway, which was obviously a noob trap, so I futzed around with the things that were behind the doors to be able to proceed. After moving this statue to its pressure plate, and standing on the pressure plate it was covering, I'm able to walk down the hallway and see that the museum's previous curator had perished behind these walls because the hidden door kept rage-baiting him. His final message implores us to lay his remains to rest. What this guy didn't realize was that there was another hidden door here the whole time, which we find because we have a high passive perception, and we're spat out outside of the museum and left to go to the cemetery. We do so. The center tomb is where we need to go. I activate a hole to unlock the door, rob his family's single earthly possession, and then place his dead body in the chest. I fly back to the client, and its quest complete. So, when I try running over for my third adventure, the game promptly will not let me. There are no adventures to take. I can only imagine this is because the developers want you to take your time between adventures and make getting your visa level something to do over time, but there isn't really a warning or anything for this, so it was a little confusing, but there's nothing for it but for us to wait another day. So, I take this time to do some running around. I run to the cemetery and rob all of the other tombs. I run to the Nectary and explore their Nectar dive well. That has got to be foul. I probe around their secret rooms until I'm hit with a keystone, so, out of anger, I steal all the crops I can. I then run over to the Chateau de Landgrab to see what I can do. This one certainly feels the most unique out of all the tombs. Is this considered a tomb? Because it's essentially one big booby-trapped house. I'm able to pilfer a single chest that isn't behind any key doors. I'm running out of ideas, so I go back to the bookstore and buy all the recipes. And then I resort to finding collectibles. I read online that I can find a certain type of gem by rummaging around trash cans here, but this proves to be fruitless. But by the time that's done, it's a new day, and I'm able to read the adventure board to get my third adventure. My client wants me to investigate her house, because she thinks the basement looks weird. I head on over and wake up the family, and their kid lets me in. The basement does indeed look weird, considering they have a keystone door in it. I unlock it and head inside. It's the typical fare of moving around statues onto platforms that reveal this tiny courtyard in the next room. They also have an Egyptian room for some odd reason. This room spits me out in their garden shed, and that's the legendary secret garden complete. I run back to the client to tell her what I found, and then I'm left with 16 hours to spend. I spent these 16 hours collecting the exclusive bugs, one of which spawns on the island in the river at night. So normally, because I looked this up, the intended way for you to be able to get over here, as far as anyone was concerned when this expansion released, was that you needed to be able to Zeniport by meditating to be able to pass over the water. While we all know I could have done this, with the Island Paradise expansion pack, you're given free roam on any water considered an ocean in a boat that just spawns. So this requirement was made moot, and I bowed on over to wait around for the bug to spawn and collect other things in the meantime. The bug does not spawn. The map keeps saying there's bugs around, but I can't seem to find them. I passively fish while waiting for the bugs to spawn, but they never come. Sad. This occupies me until midnight, where I run over to the adventure board for my 4th adventure. The Nectar director wants me to collect unsmelted titanium. I do this. And then she tells me to convince someone she knows to give her something. I head over to the guy, and then I do something life-changing. I open up the relationship transmogrifier app we unlocked in the last episode, and make both of us friends. This works like a charm. No drawbacks. And that's it. I ask him for the thing, and he agrees. It's like I cast friends on him or something. Except that's not a spell in the game. That's a potion, and I can't even use those potions here. But they didn't think about blocking the app, which is a win for me. I get the thing, and run back to the Nectar director, and then I'm done. The next things I do to waste time include going back to the chateau to investigate their groundskeeper's shack, seeing as I picked up a heart keystone from an excavation. I am informed that I have completed the legendary groundskeeper's shack upon unlocking the door, and my reward is a middling money bag worth 35 simoleons. There was also a relic and another keystone below the shack, so I didn't need to find an independent key at all. This brings me back to the Celtic ruins to see if I overlooked anything. I find a pressure plate hidden in the grass, which enables a staircase to open, and I'm admitted entry. The centerpiece of this room were all the statues on pressure plates, which, if you wanted to continue forward after getting all of the treasure they were guarding, you would have to neatly put all of them back. I like that. The next room wasn't special, outside of this oddly placed chair and fireplace. After grabbing loot and doing straightforward puzzles, the heart keystone opened the final room, completing the tomb, except for this hidden room, and then I was done. There was obviously another part to the tomb here, but I couldn't get to it without Pengu's axe, an item you get from China to be able to smash big rocks open. So, after that, I just run back to the island again to see if I can't catch those bugs yet. I can't. Midnight rolls around, and I get my final adventure. The Nectar director wants me to get some grapes for her. I already have the grapes because I harvested them, so I run over and give them to her. She hands the grapes back to me and tells me to get squashing. I was honestly looking forward to seeing if I could get away without having to learn any nectar making for this challenge, but that's okay. I squash the grapes and make some nectar, meditating to pass the time. When they're done, she thanks me for my efforts, then tells me to squash the fruits she gave me. What fruit? Lady, I have so much fruit in my inventory. What fruit? Some panic searching and unhelpful guides brought me to an old forum thread where someone says that they were limes. I looked at my inventory for limes and see that I have 10 great limes. That would do it. I squash the limes, wait, grab the nectar, and give it to her. Now she wants me to make a bottle of something that is of a very nice quality, or better. I fret a bit over this, because I know that I need to have high-quality ingredients and potentially a good blend in order to make a very nice quality nectar. I research recipes and find that I can't make any of them. I also notice that flame fruit is an ingredient in most of them though, so what I end up doing is that I make 2 batches, one that's said to be an amazing blend, combining 6 of these grapes with 4 apples, and one with 10 of the nicest flame fruit I had on me. The first batch, as I fretted, came out at only nice quality, but the flame fruit batch came out great, a notch above the requirement, thank goodness. I hand her the bottles, and she trades me some even better nectar in return. That's adventure complete. It's our last day in France, so we can't take on another adventure. What we can do is steal all of the Nectary's crops again and run around grabbing bugs, which makes for great time wasters. We're kicked out at midnight and arrive safely back in Moonlight Falls after another loading screen. I go home, put all the bottles I found, purchased, and made into my Nectary racks. Lifetime wish complete. See, that would have made for a stupid video if I just ran over and did that and came back. But like I said, I'm going to need these visa levels anyway, so it's good to get out of the way. But there's not much more to say. If you just have like 15,000 simoleons to be able to go to France, buy the nectar, come back, make a basement, and buy the racks, you could finish this challenge in no time at all. This is probably the easiest lifetime wish in the game. With the starting funds from a large household, you could totally knock this out on day 1. But that's all I have for this one. I'll be back next time to discuss the wonderful world of the restaurant industry. Bye now.